In our present world, there are many individuals who stand at the pinnacle of success, while others do not. What sets these people apart? Is it the presence of wealth? Is it luck and easy circumstances along their life? Or is it perhaps a deity guiding their way? Well, there's no real deity other than ourselves, and there's nothing easy about the path we tread. Every scenario imaginable, difficulties, challenges, life's non-adaptations can unfold. So what's the fundamental difference? It's how we perceive every event around us. You should believe that our outlook on life will create unseen effects on our own lives and the things around us. Similar to the philosophy of the butterfly effect, even the smallest things in our thoughts can alter every event that may occur around us. What you choose right now is to maintain your optimism and your zest for life, or to succumb to fear and anxiety due to the circumstances that exist and the influences around you. While the concepts of positive thinking and motivational speaking has gained popularity, its effectiveness varies from person to person. While some individuals may find success and fulfillment through these practices, others may not experience the same results. If these seminars and books really work, then why isn't everyone who reads them rich, successful, and most importantly, content? We should be able to make the world a better place right now if all it takes is positive thinking, right? Is there something amiss with this image? Or are there other factors at play that are not being considered? Well, I've been pondering this question for the past few years. I will also tell you about my philosophy, which is based on what I have found, along with a suite of applications and resources that, in my opinion, will do more than just help you out. They will enable you to realize your maximum potential and make the most of every moment. In theory, many of the things I'm about to tell you will seem like basic concepts. As a rule, the greatest ideas are. This is why I feel compelled to warn you that these basic ideas are frequently misunderstood. They are often overlooked or dismissed as too simple to be truly effective. However, I can assure you that if you take the time to understand and implement these concepts, you will see a significant impact on your life and your success. So, with an open mind and a willingness to learn, let's explore these foundational ideas together and unlock your full potential. If they are not fully internalized and put into practice. Since this is an important matter, I suggest you listen to the recording multiple times. It would be ideal if it were 10 times higher. And when you hear these thoughts, tap into your playful, adventurous side rather than your analytical, rational thinking. Try to make these tools a part of your daily life. I know most of you will only listen to this video once, so I'm asking you this anyway. Before setting it on a shelf, the content will remain unused to you forever. Please try to absorb and apply this information. Making a deliberate decision is the first step towards subliminal transformation. You have to use the tools and reprogramming procedures to make them operate. Listen, I have something really important for you to grasp at this very now. Your old self will do anything to stay put, it's seft. You must be strong and persistent in order to overcome it. It will provide justifications for ignoring the recordings. However, if you truly want to make a change and experience transformation, you must push past the resistance and actually use the tools and procedures provided. The message is crucial for understanding the importance of not ignoring the recordings and taking action towards reprogramming yourself. It's time to break free from your old self and embrace the opportunity for growth and positive change. Remember, the power to transform lies within your hands. No matter how helpful these ideas and programs are, it will delay and create excuses not to use them. Plus, you'll be the one to do it, since you're content with the old you. It can keep things as they are because of its inherent survival mechanism. Change is difficult for this same reason. Additionally, it clarifies the invariable failure of superficially optimistic thinking. Millions of people buy books and listen to recordings on positive thinking every year. Yet only a fraction of that number really benefits in the long run. You will feel energized and inspired for around 2 days after reading one of these books or attending one of these workshops. After that, you're back to how you were before. Listen, the stuff isn't invalid or useless. Yes, it does. Only your conscious mind is the target of encouraging thoughts and tales. Additionally, your conscious intellect is not what drives your life. It is the subconscious and other aspects of your mind that determine your attitude and behavior. The secret to lasting transformation is penetrating the subconscious and reprogramming your ideas about who you are and what lies ahead. It's about rewiring your subconscious mind to create a new reality for yourself. Indeed, that is the central theme of this program. Then, I think it is time to start. Before I go into the specifics of this strategy, I'd want to discuss how our subconscious influences our health, wealth, and achievement. Permit me to read you something that quite succinctly explains everything. Our beliefs influence the things we manifest in the world. For example, if someone has a deep-seated belief that they are not worthy of success or happiness, their subconscious mind will continue to create situations that reinforce this belief. This can lead to a cycle of self-sabotage and missed opportunities. Breaking free from this cycle requires challenging and changing these limiting beliefs. This time, I'll read it out to you. Our beliefs influence the things we manifest in the world, our own subjective interpretations of events, both internal and external, to ourselves and the world. We seek and accept truth based on our beliefs. If you can alter your beliefs, you can alter your reality, or your perception of it anyway. While it is true that beliefs can influence our reality, it is important to acknowledge that changing deeply ingrained beliefs can be a challenging and lengthy process. Simply altering beliefs may not always lead to immediate changes in one's reality. What I mean is that your views determine the world as you know it. My real estate entrepreneur friend started off with $0 and used the fake it strategy to build a substantial fortune in a matter of years. Now he's worth a pretty penny, until he succeeded. In his mind, he had already accumulated a substantial fortune, even though he was truly short on cash. He fantasized about being a millionaire. Then the events transpired that brought about that fact. I'm sure you've heard tales like these before. What we subconsciously accept as true becomes our actual experience. Does this mean that one's level of skill and luck are unrelated to their ability to amass wealth? A desire and the conviction that one's goal is achievable are the foundational elements of any learned ability to generate income. Never lose sight of the fact that our perceptions determine our beliefs. What we look for determines what we see. Our mental processes and the dice we roll determine what we seek. We are all aware that those who seem to have exceptional good fortune really just want good things to happen to them. One would anticipate it. You should anticipate and prepare for good fortune. That's all there is to it. Surely you've witnessed this on a regular basis, albeit in the other direction, when it comes to you. You know how it feels when precisely when you anticipate having a bad day, you experience one. Our beliefs influence the things we manifest in the world. And that, my friend, is the whole point of this recording and this idea continually accompanying me. My point here is not novel. The truth is that it's rather ancient. Philosophers and other wise people have been saying this for ages. The Roman philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said that our ideas are what make us shine. In Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill made a similar point. All have expressed a common theme. Having said that, there's no assurance that it will improve your life. You see, in order to overcome years of bad brainwashing, you must first overcome an entrenched mental script. That is why we at Zygon created mind development tools. They help you fix your beliefs and actions from the inside out, and then permanently implant these new convictions in your subconscious, the place where your views are formed, strengthened, and ultimately realized. Transforming your life on a permanent basis requires rewriting the core beliefs that inform your thoughts and perceptions of the world. Our subconscious has pre-written what we believe to be true in our minds. No matter how much we deny it, the truth is that everything we believe is true or will be true eventually. When presented with evidence that runs counter to our deeply held views, our brains either choose to disregard it or alter it perceptually. That is the mental script that has been implanted in your mind if you have been taught your whole life that you will never amount to anything, or that money is out your reach. this will come to pass in your life. That is enough for now. Allow me to present you with an incredibly straightforward and potent method that you may employ to bring about the life you desire. This method will help you attract wealth and success, develop fulfilling relationships, radiate positivity, and succeed in every area of your life. To me, this strategy is all about seeing the big picture. Describe it. It's a way to mentally practice for upcoming events by associating positive feelings with positive visuals using a straightforward visualization technique. Additionally, it teaches the subconscious to bring about the things they want. Visualization techniques are likely not new to you, and you might have even used them before. That is excellent. There are typically two reasons why most people give it a shot for a while before quitting up. The first is that your past self shows up again, offering excuses for why you shouldn't change. On top of that, you never got any positive comments to encourage you to keep doing it, which could be because you weren't doing it well. Okay, I'll give you a simple method that works really well. However, you must apply it, and there are 3 steps to it. A small tip is in order before I present them to you. Make sure you give yourself time every day to focus on your vision. Just 5 minutes a day will do. Just a quick minute. If you set your mind to it, you can accomplish anything worthwhile. Morning or night, it doesn't really matter. Allow yourself a little 5-minute break. My dear, you are valued. This next 5 minutes are for the express purpose of creating a vision. All right, are you all set to go into session? Find a cozy spot to sit. Imagine you're trying to see your forehead in the middle of your closed eyelids while gently rolling them up. Pay attention to how you're breathing. Breathe in slowly and deeply while focusing on the sound of your lungs filling and emptying. Let yourself unwind. Take 5 deep breaths and repeat this practice. It will take no more than 45 seconds if you just concentrate on breathing. If you want to go into an alpha state of mind right away, try this easy, relaxing technique. In fact, you would detect an increase in alpha wave activity from your brain if you hooked yourself up to an EEG machine while doing this straightforward procedure. Furthermore, in the span of 45 seconds, there are workshops that will teach you this for more than $500. So, you've mastered the art of entering an alpha brainwave state in just 45 seconds. Choosing a picture from a memory of a time when you were overjoyed is the next step. Feel a deep connection to the event. The nature and timing of the event are irrelevant. In order to link with your mental picture of something that will happen in the future, you need to generate a winning feeling or joyful emotion. Maybe this symbolizes your first kiss or your high school performance that got you a standing ovation. Find a particular event in your past and think about it thoroughly. The loving embraces and pats on the back are overwhelming. Take note of the sights, smells, and noises. Relive all of those exhilarating feelings as you reenact this incident. What you're doing here is training your mind to correlate a positive feeling with a future goal by bringing it into your awareness. This solidifies the goal in the mind's subconscious, gives it energy, and eventually makes it a subconscious reality. Changing your perspective and seeking out ways to make something a reality is as easy as telling your subconscious mind to believe it. I'll go into more detail about that later. Visualizing your future self-actualization is the next step after reliving that magical moment and experiencing those enticing emotions. A word, a musical note, a flavor, or even a mental image can trigger it. Actually, your imagination is very much at your disposal. As an individual, you are special. Images evoke different reactions in different people. Whatever it is that helps you visualize, feel, or express your goal. The most important thing is to act as though you have already achieved it. If it's monetary, try to picture yourself with plenty of it. Maybe the pictures show you making a sizable deposit at the bank, or standing at your desk at work with a stack of $100. The cash is there for you to sniff, roll in, and then toss around. Picture this. You're out and about in your most elegant attire, driving the car of your dreams, and your pals are staring at you, asking how you got so lucky. Keep an eye out for the big red plus sign up top on your test if you're a student. If you're in sales, picture yourself making the final sale. Visualizing your future self-actualization is the next step after reliving that magical moment and experiencing those enticing emotions. A word, a musical note, a flavor, or even a mental image can trigger it. While delivering a speech, pay attention to the applause and compliments from the audience. Imagine you're interested in renting a Malibu or Cape Cod vacation home. As you enter the house, picture the walls, lawn, roof, and doorway, all in their various colors and textures. Visualize the complete house in your head and put the finishing touches on it the way you want it. Get as much detail and richness into your images as you can. Visualizing your future self-actualization is the next step after reliving that magical moment and experiencing those enticing emotions. A word, a musical note, a flavor, or even a mental image can trigger it. It's okay if your photos aren't crystal clear at first. The efficiency of the process improves with practice. Incorporate smells, noises, and touches. The more details and sensory input you give, the more likely it is that your subconscious will accept it and act upon it. All right. The idea is clear. Visualizing your future self-actualization is the next step after reliving that magical moment and experiencing those enticing emotions. A word, a musical note, a flavor, or even a mental image can trigger it. Allow me to repeat the instructions for you. You get comfortable first. Relax and focus on your breathing for 5 breaths while you close your eyes and roll them up. The second piece of advice is to make yourself feel good by thinking back on a happy memory and living it up for a little while. The number 3, visualizing your future self-actualization is the next step after reliving that magical moment and experiencing those enticing emotions. A word, a musical note, a flavor, or even a mental image can trigger it. Envision yourself having reached your future objective and give it as much detail and color as you can in your mind. Before we wrap up each session, there's one more thing I want you to do that might make you look stronger. Strange as it may appear, it is very significant and powerful. Just before you open your eyes, repeat this to yourself. I now allow myself to have, where you fill in the blank with your want. Then say, so be it. Everything is done. Visualizing your future self-actualization is the next step after reliving that magical moment and experiencing those enticing emotions. A word, a musical note, a flavor, or even a mental image can trigger it. In addition to releasing the goal you just typed, this simple sentence will help you achieve it. Then why let it go? You should let go of it after affirming it, not hold on to it. When you give anything too much mental space, you send the message to your subconscious that you don't think it can be achieved. It's like wanting something badly. Visualizing your future self-actualization is the next step after reliving that magical moment and experiencing those enticing emotions. A word, a musical note, a flavor, or even a mental image can trigger it. That feeling you get when you desire something badly yet are afraid you'll never have it. What I call it is the choke syndrome. It's easy to choke on when you push yourself too far. This phenomenon often befalls those who have desires. Still, whatever you can imagine is already within your reach. Visualizing your future self-actualization is the next step after reliving that magical moment and experiencing those enticing emotions. A word, a musical note, a flavor, or even a mental image can trigger it. Put it aside now. Your mind will learn to believe that it will happen if you let it go. But if you fixate on it, you'll start to wonder that it's actually achievable. Another stuff is there as well. Feeling guilty about it is not an option. You must be certain that you are deserving of it. There are a lot of people who feel guilty about being happy, and you need to get rid of that guilt for good. Visualizing your future self-actualization is the next step after reliving that magical moment and experiencing those enticing emotions. A word, a musical note, a flavor, or even a mental image can trigger it. For what reason should we feel bad about enjoying life? This is due to the fact that we have been taught from a young age by our parents, teachers, pastors, and friends that happiness does not come without a price, that good times always come to an end, and that suffering is necessary for true happiness. It's all complete baloney. Those who utilize these terms do so out of a sense of scarcity and limitation. At their core, people think they are unworthy of happiness and success. Visualizing your future self-actualization is the next step after reliving that magical moment and experiencing those enticing emotions. A word, a musical note, a flavor, or even a mental image can trigger it. Therefore, why should other people? Contrary to popular belief, happiness is neither a product of material success or excellent health. Joy is not a commodity that can be purchased or merited. Simply put, happiness is a mental state in which one thinks positively most of the time. Postponing positive self-talk until you feel worthy of it sends the message to your subconscious that you don't deserve it. Visualizing your future self-actualization is the next step after reliving that magical moment and experiencing those enticing emotions. A word, a musical note, a flavor, or even a mental image can trigger it, so you may expect to have a terrible time and fail miserably at most everything you try. Being happy is not a sign of weakness or selfishness. Therefore, find joy in life no matter what. As with success and well-being, happiness can be a means to an end, the pursuit of happiness, or it can be the end in and of itself. You do not experience happiness. You cultivate, characterize, and manage it. Visualizing your future self-actualization is the next step after reliving that magical moment and experiencing those enticing emotions. A word, a musical note, a flavor, or even a mental image can trigger it. It will be quite some time before you experience the joy you desire. Instead, start doing it immediately. Tell me the process. I mean, it's not hard at all. Being happy when you're not is a key component. In fact, you should be doing it right this second, because it's how all the winners do it. You can train your mind to be happy most of the time and successful no matter what by focusing on these 3 areas. To begin, you must ensure that you do not let the opinions of others influence your self-perception. Changing your reaction to different situations will help you achieve this. Take a step back and observe the issue objectively. Visualizing your future self-actualization is the next step after reliving that magical moment and experiencing those enticing emotions. A word, a musical note, a flavor, or even a mental image can trigger it. Think at it this way. You're a commission and time-based salesperson, and you've just invested the last 3 months into a major deal that's ready to close. I knew this was a horrible business, you thought to yourself, as you see your huge commission go down the drain when a prospect suddenly backs out at the last minute. For what reason did I choose to work in this field initially? Weak human beings. I need to start over now. Visualizing your future self-actualization is the next step after reliving that magical moment and experiencing those enticing emotions. A word, a musical note, a flavor, or even a mental image can trigger it. Just a moment. Everyone needs to take a break. Take a few steps back from this picture. Unfortunately, the deal fell through. However, how you choose to handle this situation will greatly influence your happiness and the outcome of any future transactions. Rather than moaning and feeling powerless, decide to react constructively and forcefully to threats. Visualizing your future self-actualization is the next step after reliving that magical moment and experiencing those enticing emotions. A word, a musical note, a flavor, or even a mental image can trigger it. Keep your emotions under check. Another contract, that is all. When faced with a world full of offers, simply go on. The amount of difficulty you encounter in life is directly proportional to your ability to mentally control your environment and your attitude toward failure. There are challenges and difficulties that every living thing must overcome. Visualizing your future self-actualization is the next step after reliving that magical moment and experiencing those enticing emotions. A word, a musical note, a flavor, or even a mental image can trigger it. Whether we see things as positive or unfavorable depends on our interpretation. The second tenet of this philosophy is that you should focus on the here and now, not on the past or the future, and to act accordingly. While visioning sessions are a great method to envisage your ideal future, it's important to remember not to live in that fantasy. Being happy and living requires focusing on the here and now. Reflect on the times when you were the happiest. Visualizing your future self-actualization is the next step after reliving that magical moment and experiencing those enticing emotions. A word, a musical note, a flavor, or even a mental image can trigger it. I'd be surprised if there weren't moments when you were fully present and engrossed. You felt the most joy when you were fully present and engaged with the experience of life. Being fully engaged in the here and now prevented you from dwelling on the past or fretting over the future. True happiness has its secrets, and this is one of them. All they can think about is how amazing it is to be alive. Visualizing your future self-actualization is the next step after reliving that magical moment and experiencing those enticing emotions. A word, a musical note, a flavor, or even a mental image can trigger it. Almost everyone can relate to this scenario. Therefore, I'll provide it to you. One of the most fulfilling things you can do for your body and mind is to make love. Why? Since all of your efforts are being directed towards this period, it is a profound sensation to be alive. Visualizing your future self-actualization is the next step after reliving that magical moment and experiencing those enticing emotions. A word, a musical note, a flavor, or even a mental image can trigger it. So, you're interested in expanding your knowledge? Walking through a rice paddies in the countryside was the most invigorating experience for many Vietnam veterans. Despite how strange it seems, those were the moments when the fighters felt the most energized. Paying close attention in all aspects of your life will not only help you perform at your best, but it will also greatly enhance the immense joy that comes from just being alive. You may accomplish this in an easy way. Visualizing your future self-actualization is the next step after reliving that magical moment and experiencing those enticing emotions. A word, a musical note, a flavor, or even a mental image can trigger it. I learned how to assist the renowned author Ray Bradbury in maintaining his concentration while he worked. The adage that he kept on his desk stated, "Don't think, don't try, just do." And that is the essence of everything. Your subconscious receives the erroneous messages as you think and strive. Just take action, and your subconscious will guide you in the right direction. Visualizing your future self-actualization is the next step after reliving that magical moment and experiencing those enticing emotions. A word, a musical note, a flavor, or even a mental image can trigger it. Thirdly, and most importantly, you should strive to make happiness a habit in your life. Regardless of your worries, situations, or concerns incorporated into your self-perception. Embrace joy in all your choices. Have a positive self-image. Pay attention to the details of the here and now, and make an effort to adore and behold the wonders of the world. Visualizing your future self-actualization is the next step after reliving that magical moment and experiencing those enticing emotions. A word, a musical note, a flavor, or even a mental image can trigger it. Achieving a meaningful and satisfying existence is a matter of training your subconscious mind to accept and embrace whatever comes your way via the practice of continual positive affirmation. That is correct, and doing so is not hard in the least. Just remember that science is just now starting to grasp the immense power of the mind if you choose not to think or try. The capacity to cure diseases happens naturally, able to triumph over significant mental and physical obstacles. Visualizing your future self-actualization is the next step after reliving that magical moment and experiencing those enticing emotions. A word, a musical note, a flavor, or even a mental image can trigger it, prompts individuals to embrace lives brimming with delight and contentment. Our minds are far more precious than our bodies, yet we spend a lot of time at the gym making sure our bodies are in tip-top shape. More success is yours for the taking if you put in the mental work now. Garbage in, garbage out is a phrase that computer programmers frequently use. When a computer is not properly programmed, it will inevitably provide inaccurate results. Even though physical health is important, mental health is just as important and plays a big part in success and well-being generally. If you don't take care of your mental health, you could end up with problems like burnout, anxiety, and sadness that make it harder to reach your goals. Visualizing your future self-actualization is the next step after reliving that magical moment and experiencing those enticing emotions. A word, a musical note, a flavor, or even a mental image can trigger it. That also applies to your thoughts. Consistent and regular use of this program is essential. Take part in the visioneering exercises for the big and little things you desire. The amount of effort it saves you will astound you. Lastly, why not do it for fun? Life is too short to be stressed out and overwhelmed all the time. You can not only improve your chances of success, but also enjoy the process if you put your mental health first and do things like vision mapping exercises. That being said, why not put your mental health first and have fun while you do it? After all, a healthy mind is just as important as a healthy body. Visualizing your future self-actualization is the next step after reliving that magical moment and experiencing those enticing emotions. A word, a musical note, a flavor, or even a mental image can trigger it. Be positive and upbeat all the time. Choose to change the circumstances of your life by making a conscious effort to do so, with the solemn promise to excel to your fullest potential. These few procedures will drastically alter your world. Within a year of committing to this strategy, I promise you will see a dramatic improvement in your life. Visualizing your future self-actualization is the next step after reliving that magical moment and experiencing those enticing emotions. A word, a musical note, a flavor, or even a mental image can trigger it. Thank you for listening. Until we meet again.